Hey, Kyle, Qurec here, and this is the note of the day. I came across a video on YouTube about a month ago with a very seasoned musician who listed the top 10 songs. I don't know if it was a Billboard chart, worldwide, UK, US, but he gave an indication of the pop tunes of today, and he played through the top 10. That was an interesting listen. That's all I'm going to say. But it got me to thinking of 5, I'm not going to do 10, that would take too long, but 5 incredible pop mixes that I can think of that are astounding to me, that are just high art when it comes to popular music, which is very hard to do without being trite or cheesy or copying somebody else. Here are the 5 songs, and man, the production on these, I think is some of the best production ever. Number 1. And these are in no particular order, but number 1 is In Your Eyes off of Peter Gabriel's So. Everyone knows the song. Till this day, I remember the first time I heard it at a party, and I remember thinking, that's like the best song I think I've ever heard. So there's a few things going on here. It's an established artist, Peter Gabriel, originally from Genesis, solo career, came out in the 80s with just, So is, oh man, it's up there with Sgt. Pepper's for me. I mean, just as far as the way it sounds, the mix. And In Your Eyes is incredible. A couple of things of note about this song. Go listen to it, number 1. Number 2, there are no crash cymbals. No crash cymbals. I don't know why. I think I would die without them, but he's Peter Gabriel. That, and also The Stick by Tony Levin is played on this, which is an instrument that's very unique, kind of like the bass. But go listen to it. In Your Eyes, Peter Gabriel, astounding song, perfect mix. That was number 1. Here's number 2. With or Without You by U2. The album is Joshua Tree. The song is With or Without You. Again, I remember when it first came out, I think 1987. Off the bat, one of the best recorded bass tracks I've ever heard. It's just, eighth notes, dun, 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 dun. But the sound of the bass is unbelievable. Bono is in his prime. And what's very unique about the song, doesn't sound like it's unique, but it's 1, 5, 6, 4, meaning it's D, A, B minor, G, 1 bar of each, a 4-bar chord pattern in that order that never changes for 5 minutes. I had an argument at a school that I went to, a music school, and this great jazz player was just saying, you got to stop listening to that. You got to get swing, 2/5, sub-5, all that stuff. And I said, no, you're right. But I'll tell you what, why don't you write a song? A 4-bar harmonic song, D, A, B minor, G, and take you from the ground up to the 5th gate of heaven. That song is amazing. I think Bono writes some of the most beautiful melodies of all time. He just keeps coming up with them. Maybe it's that Celtic thing. I don't know. Gorgeous song, takes you from the bottom and just leaves you in the stars. Here's number 3. Higher Love by Steve Winwood off of Back in the High Life. Again, this came out, I'm going to say 85, 86. Couple of things of note. Again, a very established artist, Steve Winwood, who made his debut, I think, at Woodstock when he was 16. Come on. Some people are so gifted. Steve Winwood's incredible. But this album came out and it was just killer. It was the beach album, going into Mustang to the Jersey Shore. I know, Jersey. And cranking that tune. Couple of things of note. I believe it's J.R. Robinson playing drums. Some of the best recorded drums. Just so good. From the intro to the breakdown in the middle. And of course, the wonderful Chaka Khan. Higher Love, Steve Winwood, Back in the High Life. Number 4. Boys of Summer off of Building the Perfect Beast. Don Henley. Again, mid-80s. I think it's 84. I had to listen to this as I did with all the tunes. And I realized something. I think it's a drum machine with a live hi-hat. I couldn't believe that, because one thing that's similar to all these tunes is incredible drums, great bass and vocal. And to me, that's the most important thing in pop mixing. Everyone loves guitars and keyboards. I get it. Loops, all that stuff. If you have great bass, great drums, and a killer vocal, you are 90% there, in my opinion. So Boys of Summer, drum machine. It sounded like, I could be wrong, there's players that are so on top that can sound so good that can sound like a drum machine. But I think it's a drum machine. I think it's a live hi-hat. Don Henley, one of the most recognizable, just easy voices to listen to. Great song. The epitome of the 80s. The guitar work on that, the noodling, which guitar players can do ad nauseum, but this is a masterclass in how to play behind a singer. Great guitar, great song, great lead vocal, Boys of Summer, Don Henley. And our last one, number 5. It's the song Crazy by the artist Seal. I thought it was 1989, it was 1990. I remember where I was in Boston in a dorm room at a youth hostel on a boombox. And the bass player that I knew said, you've got to hear this new tune. You've got to hear this guy. First thing, great song, different, big budget sounding, very cinematic, incredible groove, great keyboard work, everything about it. But the vocal, I mean, Seal has a very unique, gorgeous voice. To me, it's like Paul Rodgers of Bad Company. Totally different type of voice, but the moment you hear it, you fall in love. It's like love at first hear. I heard his voice come out, I thought, okay, that's one of the best vocal sounds I've ever heard in bar one. So those are the 5. And again, this channel, what we're doing here is just kind of a love letter to music. You've been watching Music Minded. Go listen to these 5 songs. I'll have them in the links below. Go listen to them, enjoy them. The hugeness, the wonderful writing, the production, it's just a stamp on recorded music that's going to last forever. And it's from the 80s, which is crazy. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm Kyle Qurec. You've been watching Music Minded. Have a great day.